realized the groom was a piece of crap. It was hard not to tear up when I saw my best friend Bailey step into her mother's wedding dress. "You're beautiful," I whispered. She fought back tears. "Thank you. I wish my mom were here to see this." I carefully laid out the vintage lace that had taken 6 months to restore after her mom died of cancer last year. Bailey had worked tirelessly making the wedding perfect. "Please, no funny business," Bailey asked her husband-to-be Colton. "Of course, baby, I would never ruin your perfect day," he said in a tone that sounded so sincere at the time. Well, the ceremony was perfect, and the reception was going beautifully until the cake cutting. Colton fed her the first bite gently, and Bailey relaxed against him, probably thinking he'd kept his promise. And then he grabbed a second piece and smashed it into her face, grinding the chocolate frosting into her hair before dragging it down onto her chest and dress. Everyone gasped. My mouth literally hung open. Colton looked at the shocked crowd and laughed. "What? Too many carbs?" he shouted while his groomsmen absolutely lost it laughing behind him. Bailey stood there frozen as the chocolate buttercream dripped down onto the train of her mother's vintage lace dress, while the photographer clicked away capturing her humiliation. She ran out of the reception hall sobbing, just as a best man high-fived Colton and slipped him $200, a freaking bet over whether or not he'd really do it. Within minutes, every bridesmaid crowded the bathroom, trying to remove the stains from the dress and retouch her makeup. "He's a jerk. You were always too good for him," I said, practically grinding my teeth. We spent a lot of the time absolutely dissing Colton for the monster he was until someone asked, "So what are we gonna do about it?" Brooke, Bailey's lawyer cousin, stroked Bailey's hand. Hey, listen to me. The marriage papers aren't filed until we get back to the States. You're not legally married yet." Her college roommate Shelby cut in, "Especially not if he never returns to the States. Let's destroy his passport." Half of the girls laughed, but half agreed enthusiastically. Her work bestie added, "Why stop there? I could totally get him fired. Imagine, no passport, no job, no wife." Bailey kept shaking her head saying, "No, I can't do this," like the angel she always was. "He knew," said Shelby, and her voice was scarier calm than I'd ever heard it. "He knew exactly what that dress meant to you, and he did it anyway." The bathroom went quiet, all of us recalling the way her mom's cancer devastated everyone last year. Then Brooke stood up and said, "So here's what we're gonna do." And suddenly everyone was talking at once with ideas flying back and forth. Bailey finally looked up and whispered, "Make him pay," and that's all we needed to hear. We got Bailey cleaned up and into her backup reception dress, then walked back into the party, all smiles like nothing had happened. Colton was still celebrating with his groomsmen and barely noticed when we returned, probably figured Bailey had cooled off like she always did when he acted like an idiot. I gave my maid of honor speech about surprises in marriage while walking past Colton's chair where his passport bag was sitting, and my hand slipped while gesturing with my red wine glass. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," I gasped as the wine soaked through the bag, and Brooke quickly grabbed it to help, but made sure to really grind that wine into every page of his passport until they were stuck together in purple clumps. Meanwhile, Shelby managed to swipe his phone from the table, deleted his airline app, and changed his alarms for the flight. She changed the password to the phone before placing it back on the table. Brooke snuck into the honeymoon suite and dragged every piece of Colton's stuff into the pool. She made sure to take pictures of the floating expensive suits and underwear for us to look at later. The best part was, after the party, Colton was so drunk he stumbled to bed without noticing anything was wrong. We got Bailey packed up and ready to go, and at 5 a.m. we checked her out for the 8 a.m. flight while Colton was still passed out upstairs. We left him a note on the pillow that said, "The marriage papers are in the trash where they belong. Enjoy finding your own way home." Colton missed his flight home and got stuck in Cabo for a week with no passport and clothes that were soaked in chlorine. When he did manage to make it back, his firm had put him on indefinite leave after the reception video reached the female CEO who was a cancer survivor herself. We giggled at the seeking new opportunities on his LinkedIn profile. Bailey had spent her time in France for her solo honeymoon, and 6 months later, she posted herself in the restored stain-free dress at her mother's grave with the caption, "Mom, I almost married someone who would have disappointed you." But I was sure that night her mom was proud of Bailey and the 7 bridesmaids.